Good morning. Hope all of you are well. Welcome to my chemistry class. Now you are in class 12. I am very happy as well as excited to get you in my chemistry class. Hope all of you will enjoy my class. And this year also, because of this pandemic situation, we are taking online classes because of the second wave of the COVID-19. Hope all of you will maintain the COVID protocol. Okay. Today I shall first discuss about the chemistry syllabus. All of you know, like class 11, your full marks is 100, 70 marks is theory and 30 marks from practical. And each chapter reading is compulsory. Okay. So from each chapter you have to attend questions in board exam. Now your total chemistry is divided into three parts. One is physical chemistry, and physical chemistry out of 70 there is 25 marks. Next we will discuss inorganic chemistry. And inorganic chemistry contains or will come 20 marks. And organic chemistry (25 marks). In this way, your total marks, okay, in theory is 70. Now, these two chapters, physical and organic, will be taken by other teacher, and I will take mainly your inorganic chemistry. Okay, this year. Now, physical chemistry, how many chapters are there? There are 5 chapters. First is solid state of chemistry, then there is solution, next is chemical kinetics, then surface chemistry, and another chapter is the electrochemistry. And inorganic chemistry, 20 marks, here 4 chapters are there. General principle and process of isolation of elements, then P block elements are there. Some P block you have studied in class 11. D and F block elements are there, as well as another chapter. This is the 4th chapter, is the coordination compounds or complex chemistry. Okay. And from organic part there are 7 chapters. First one is haloalkane and haloarenes, alcohols, phenols and ethers. Next one is the aldehyde, ketone and carboxylic acid. Next, organic chemistry containing nitrogen compounds. Okay. Then biomolecules, polymers and chemistry in everyday life. Okay. Last year, because of this pandemic situation, there was reduced syllabus, and that syllabus polymers was not there. So till now, polymers chapter is included. Okay. So you have to read total physical, organic and inorganic 16 chapters. And today I will start your that inorganic chemistry part. And all of you know that you have 4 type of exam in your school: pre-half yearly, half yearly, pre-annual and annual examination. In pre-half yearly unit test, today I am telling your syllabus, that is solid state chemistry is there, from the physical chemistry, and from organic there will be haloalkane and haloarenes, and another chapter is there, alcohol, phenol, ether. And from inorganic chemistry we will start the first chapter, that is coordination compound. So in your pre-half yearly syllabus, solid state, coordination compound, haloalkanes, haloarenes, alcohols, phenols and ethers, these are in your syllabus. So today I shall start the chapter of coordination compound. All of you know about the coordination compound, where coordinate bond is present in the complex compounds. In this chapter you will learn the concept of complex, definition, structure of ligands, coordination compound, oxidation number, IUPAC nomenclature of the complex compound, isomerization of complex compound, Warner's theory, valence bond theory, crystal field theory, color of complexes, why color is coming and which color it will show, magnetic properties and shapes, and importance of the coordination compounds that means their applications in different fields. Hope you can understand. So this thing we will learn from this chapter. Now we will start this chapter. Generally, transition metals form a large number of coordinate compounds, which are also called complex compounds. However, it is not restricted to transition metal. In chlorophyll, magnesium is present as it forms the coordinate compounds. Okay, and porphyrin ring is there, porphyrin ring, and in between that ring, in the middle, there is magnesium coordinated by nitrogen atom. And these complex compounds are used in metallurgical operations as catalyst, in textile industry, electroplating, as well as in medicinal chemistry. Okay, cisplatin is a very good anti-cancer agent. Okay, so we are using medicinal chemistry also. So in your complex, first you have to know about the double salt and complex salt. The difference between double salt and complex salt. When two or more salt form a new compounds as a crystal, then they are called addition compounds or double salt. Suppose if you take potassium sulfate plus aluminum sulfate saturated solution, then what will happen? If you add the aqueous solution of both these, finally you will get one salt that will form K2SO4 dot Al2SO4 whole thrice, Al2SO4 whole thrice dot 24H2. This is the water of crystallization, and this compound is double salt. Okay, and it is known as potash alum. These compounds exist only in the crystal lattice but break down into their constituents and when dissolved in water. If you dissolve in water, if you give water, so you will get the taste of potassium separately, you will get the sulfate ion, as well as you will get the aluminum ion. Okay, water so always present is here. Okay, so it will fully dissociate. Okay, so these compounds exist only in crystal lattice but break down into their constituents when dissolved in water. And these compounds usually contain two simple salts in equimolecular proportion or equimolar proportion. Okay, and in double salt, metal ions exhibit their normal valency. Okay, and double salts are ionic compounds and don't have any coordinate bond, and they lose their identity. When they are in the solution. So I am telling that if we add water to potassium, so here we will get that all things are dissociated, then there will be no existence of this double salt. Okay. Next we will discuss the complex salt. Okay. In class 10 already you have read that tetraamine copper sulfate complex. So when you add ammonium hydroxide to copper sulfate solution, first there will be formation of pair yellow PPT of copper hydroxide. If you add excess ammonium hydroxide, then one complex is formed, that is tetraammonium copper sulfate. Okay. Now if you add potassium cyanide to ferrous cyanide, okay. Suppose you are taking potassium cyanide saturated solution and you are taking that ferrous cyanide saturated solution. If you add, then you will get one complex salt, that is K4FeCnA whole 6, potassium ferrocyanide. Okay, now this is called complex salt or coordinate compounds. Now if you dissolve in water, if you give water and it will break down into 4K plus FeCnA whole 6, 4 minus. Okay, actually this part does not dissociate and is called complex ion. Okay, so complex compound exists in the solid state as well as in the solution form, because even in the solution the complex does not dissociate into ions. In complex compound the metal ion exhibits two types of valency. One is called primary valency, another is called secondary valency. In complex compounds coordinate bond is always present and coordinate compounds retain their identity even in solution. Okay, some complexes are very much stable, like this K4FeCnA whole 6, okay, and they are called perfect complex. And some complexes are there that they are not stable and dissociates to an appreciable extent, okay, and this type of complex are called imperfect complex, like K2CdCN whole 4, K2CdCN whole 4, okay. K2CdCN whole 4. So if you dissolve this complex salt in water, okay, then what will happen? It will dissociate, okay, in a certain extent. Next, we will discuss some basic terms of coordinate compound. Okay, suppose we are taking this example, that is potassium ferrocyanide, K4APCNL6. So here, this is the ionization part, okay, or ionizable part, and this one is the non-ionizable part. So this is the non-ionizable, and this is ionizable. Already we have discussed, if you take this salt in water, it will form 4K plus APCNL6 4 minus. And now this potassium, this one is what? This one is ion, okay, potassium ion, and iron is the central ion. This one is the central ion, okay, and this one cyanide is the ligand. Here 6 cyanide ligands are there. Okay, they are forming coordinate bond with Ap2 plus, and these 6 is called coordination number, Cn. Okay, so coordination number is the number of neighboring atoms, okay, to Ap2 plus. They are called coordination compound. And the branch of inorganic chemistry which deals with the study of coordination compound is known as coordination chemistry. Now, generally there are 3 types of complex compound. One is cationic complex, another is anionic complex, another is neutral complex. In case of cationic complex, the complex ion carries a net positive charge. Like we can give you example, NiNH3 2 plus. Okay, so here the complex entity bearing the positive charge, contains positive charge, so it is cationic complex. Anionic complex, here the complex ion carries a net negative charge. Okay, like FeCN whole 6 4 minus. Okay, so here this complex compound containing the 4 negative anion, so 4 negative charge, so that is why it is called anionic complex. And there are some complex which do not form any ions in solution, they are called neutral or molecular complex, like NiCO whole 4, and this is called nickel tetracarbonyl. Okay, so now today we can understand basically there are 3 types of complex. Okay, we can tell that cationic, anionic and neutral. So today up to this, next day we will discuss the ligands, okay, details of the ligand and their denticity. Okay, so thank you.